Pnc News First is presented by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Pizza Hut, we're taking pizza to where it's never been before. Taco Bell, the only place where you live Moss. Colgate, the #1 brand recommended by dentists. And IT&D.
PNC News First, broadcasting live in high definition from Tumon, Guam, on KEQI and KTGM, and on KPPI on Saipan. Here is your PNC News team.
Half a day and good evening. You're watching PNC News First. We are live from the broadcast center in Akanta. I'm Jolene Tovis. Thanks for tuning in. Topping our newscast tonight, following the identification of the first locally acquired case of dengue fever on Guam, community outreach efforts have finally started in Manilao, where the infected individual resides, and 2 Orda Chalampago schools were closed for fumigation. Here's more.
Over the weekend, Public Health identified 82 homes within a 200-meter radius of the residence of the individual infected with dengue. The residents, according to Public Health, will be asked to have their homes sprayed with insecticide to control adult and larval mosquitoes. Outreach efforts for the participation of the residents started today at the village of Manilao. According to the mayor's office, a team was dispatched this afternoon to reach out to the more than 80 households within the target area. Meanwhile, the Guam Department of Education also canceled classes at Agada E. Johnston Middle School and Orda Chalampago Elementary School in order to continue spraying insecticide at the 2 schools. The process started Sunday as part of Public Health's efforts to prevent local transmission of dengue. Public Health Director Linda DeNorsi also told PNC that an interagency meeting was convened this afternoon to tighten efforts in controlling the spread of the virus. In an earlier interview, DeNorsi said the department immediately activated its arboviral disease response plan following the identification of the infected individual. The plan includes establishing a command post, enhancing surveillance for dengue fever, and vector control by fumigating areas that have a risk for mosquito transmission. This is Luella Lasina for PNC News.
Thanks, Luella, for that report. According to the Joint Information Center, classes at the 2 schools will resume on Tuesday. They are also cautioning the public from believing and from sharing unverified social media posts that identify Orda Chalampago as ground zero. In other news, Aetna, the new Gov Guam health insurance provider, has extended its annual Gov Guam enrollment period to allow government employees more time to enroll or transition. The new enrollment period will now take place from September 23rd through October 12th. During this time, Aetna said it will be holding a series of open enrollment sessions at which local experts will be available to discuss plans and health benefit options, as well as more information about Aetna's services in Guam. Under Gov Guam's healthcare program for fiscal year 2020, Aetna said members will benefit from a range of enhanced benefits options while retaining the basic features under their current program. Local network access and on-island support will also continue as normal. Under the new program, members will receive additional support in the form of 24/7 customer service, reduced limitations on key screening services, and will have enhanced access to a broader range of off-island providers. According to Aetna, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero made the request to extend the annual enrollment period. Taking a look at crime, a young man has taken responsibility for his actions, admitting that he stole vape juice from a cargo facility. 21-year-old Anthony Jude Leon Guerrero Blas appeared in court this morning dressed in a Marine Corps uniform, ready to take a deal with the federal government. Blas is accused of taking 5 postal packages containing vape juice bottles from United Airlines cargo facility between December 2016 and January 2017, which totaled approximately $6,000. At the hearing, he pled guilty to theft of mail as a felony, which according to documents, he would place the stolen items in another person's vehicle and then they would divvy them up. Admitting to the crime, Blas now faces up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. While his sentence has yet to be determined, he will be placed on 3 years supervised release following any jail time. Accepting the guilty plea, District Court Magistrate Judge Joaquin Manbusan has set a sentencing date for December 16th. In other news from the courthouse, the lawsuit waged against the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority filed in district court has been amended, and it's asking for double the amount. The amended suit names GURA board members Sabino Flores, Monica Guzman, Carlo Dominguez, George Pareda, Joseph Cameron, and Joseph Leon Guerrero as defendants in the case, and alleges that they made illegal Section 8 housing payments to GURA legal counsel Mark E. Smith from January 2011 through November 2012. But the difference in the amended lawsuit comes down to how much relief the plaintiff, Ray Tapasnia, is requesting for. Court documents states that he is seeking full recovery of all federal monies paid to Smith during the time Smith was legal counsel for GURA. This is to include money he was paid to serve as legal counsel and as a landlord through Section 8. Tapasnia is also seeking to be reinstated to his former position as executive director of GURA and is requesting 2 times the amount of back pay that is owed to him. He cites interest on the back pay and compensation for, quote, the special damages, end quote, he sustained as a result of his termination, alleging that he was terminated for his refusal to violate federal law as he was ordered to by the GURA board. The special damages would include the cost of litigation and attorney fees. You may have experienced some delays in your commute over the weekend due to some heavy rains and deep water, but don't worry, those conditions aren't expected to persist. Let's check in with PNC's Amanda Dedicatoria for more information.
After several roads were flooded with cold and murky rainwater over the weekend, the National Weather Service's Guam Weather Forecast Office continues to monitor the activities of Tropical Storm Pepa. According to a release from the Guam Homeland Security Office, as of this morning, the storm was located around 385 miles north-northeast of Guam, with maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. Mike Middlebrook, a meteorologist from NWS, told K57's Patty Arroyo that Pepa is not expected to intensify.
It's not going to be a tropical storm for very long.
Okay.
It's destined to have a short, sad life. It's probably peaking already. And it's going to get absorbed into that much larger, broad circulation that's been lurking out there southeast of Okinawa in that area, and it'll be gone probably by tomorrow night.
In addition, Middlebrook says that the public should not expect tropical storm conditions and that Guam may experience some light rain and thunderstorms.
Later in the day, we should see the redevelopment of just some scattered showers and the more of the kind of stuff we're used to.
While the flash flood watch has been canceled, several other advisories are still in effect for Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan. A high surf advisory has been issued until Tuesday night, which means that hazardous surf will affect both south and west-facing reefs. With this, a high risk of rip currents is in effect, which can promote dangerous conditions for those who choose to swim. Amanda Dedicatoria, PNC News.
Thanks, Amanda, for that report. GHS reminds the public to practice caution when driving on wet roadways and to avoid floodwaters if flooding is encountered. In other news, over the weekend, the Guam Fire Department responded to distressed swimmers in the Tumon area. According to GFD, on Saturday at 5:45 p.m., units responded to a report of distressed swimmers over the reef at Gun Beach. One female made it back to shore. However, the other female, estimated to be in her 20s, was located over the reef by lifeguards, pulseless and breathless. Rescue 2 personnel pulled the victim and the lifeguards onto their boat and transported them to Hagåtña Boat Basin at 6:09 p.m., with CPR being conducted on the victim. The patient was transported to Naval Hospital Guam by medic personnel. The lifeguards were also examined and taken back to Gun Beach. The female friend of the victim that made it to shore was taken to GRMC to be evaluated for exhaustion and minor injuries. GFD has confirmed today the distressed swimmers were Japanese tourists. Similarly, this is the second water-related incident in the area in just over a month. GFD responded to a distressed swimmer over the reef line in Tumon near Gun Beach and the Nico Hotel on August 11th. A male swimmer and his friend were rescued, with CPR administered to the victim while he was placed aboard an ambulance en route to Naval Hospital. Well, don't go away. Coming up next on News First, we have the winners of the 11th Island Music Awards, and hundreds turn out to toe the line in the fight against cancer. Those stories and more after the break.